Good evening and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. It's this fine Wednesday evening. What a day it's been. As you can see, folks, in the background, we're live outside Paradise on a nice Wednesday night. Ryan, a lot of people call this Wednesday, wee man. But obviously, as you fine well know, mate, due to your half-10 show, mate, it was you that labelled the night Hump Day. How you been, wee man? It's been good to catch up with you again after the events of becoming champions yet again. And Saturday, we chatting Monday on the dial-in. And it's good to see you're still smiling, mate.
I'm looking forward to the half 10 show night, mate. It's Hump Day. It's a special night every week, mate. So I'm looking forward to that. So I've got William Scales a part of the night. He's getting out the cupboard tonight, so he's taking part of the half 10 show tonight. But in a serious matter, mate,
to get his fishnets again.
He's got the fishnets. No, like you says, mate, looking forward to the weekend now. Obviously, wrapping the title up. It's been, like you said, it's a really nice day today. Seems to be lit. It's going to be lit the rest of the week. So hopefully it's that the weekend as well, because it'll set up for a good victory, hopefully, on Sunday, and a good match as well Sunday. So, but looking forward to chat tonight, mate. Obviously, it's always good to chat about Celtic, but it's even better when you chat about winning the league and how the league was won, and just basically a celebration, mate, of being champions and being Celtic fans, mate. So hope you're well and everybody's watching as well, and hope the sun cream's been leathered on, because it is pretty toasty. And it is minus 17 in Glasgow, so it's always been warm anyway for the majority of the season.
Aye, I nearly caused a frenzy earlier on, man. I thought I'll put sun oil on. It turns out it was crisp and dry. I had to go and get a quick shower and make sure I was sitting out the back earlier on, man. I felt as if I was in the middle of an air fryer.
I see the good Lord loves it toasty as well.
Aye, the good Lord loves it toasty, man. Fun enough, I had my rosary beads with me, I know. I'm ready to say 10 Hail Marys and an air fryer, man, with the heat. Jesus. No, as Ryan says there, good evening to everybody that's joined us on all the platforms. I hope you're all well. It's middle of the week now, winding into that feeling towards the weekend. For some, it's a bank holiday weekend. Some people are off the long weekend. Some people just get Monday off. We'll come to a few comments, see how people are. Checking in with us tonight, we've got Ryan Moore, evening trips, or should I say champions. Good evening to yourself, Ryan. Theo Isaac joining us also. Good evening, Theo. Hope you're well, pal. Parkhead Boy, good evening, everyone. Hail, hail, he says. Chill Pill is in. What a start to the Barca game. That's a Celtic podcast, mate. We're not talking about Barca. So, try again, mate. Take a chill pill. I'm only kidding. Fair play to you, mate, if you're tuning into the Barca game.
I've been the score, so...
fair play to you if you're tuning into the Barcelona game whilst watching us. I can multitask as well. Turns out I can fuck up about 5 different things at one time as well. The missus will verify that for you, don't worry. George is in tonight. Georgie boy. All right, boys. Beautiful day. Good to see you again. Good to see you too, mate. Hope you are well. Pat Ked boys in right away, Ryan, where Inter is 1-0 up. That's a good start to the game there. There we go. Ryan Moore says a wee beer on the Celtic Unrestricted Brawl Wednesday.
Take that. Sounds good.
I don't know. Well, see, to be fair, I'll take that. Fair enough, but I don't know if he's telling us he only needs alcohol to watch us.
Well, probably, aye.
And by the way, there is no ranting and raving started yet, so we're off to a flyer, Ryan. But I hope you're well, pal. I hope you're having a good night. Eminem joining us as well. It's not the rapper, as we all know, the rapper sitting later about singing his songs about Stan and all the rest of it. Good evening, JP, Ryan, and all the chat. Do you think Brendan will be manager of the year? It's a hard one, isn't it? Because it would be really difficult, obviously, to win the treble yet again as a Celtic manager and, break records and all these accolades that the team keep getting. It would be really, really difficult not to give him it. However, there is a big shout, obviously, for David Gray, isn't there? The Hibs manager, for the turnaround Hibs have been able to do and everything else. And 9 times out of 10, user football, that the latter happens, doesn't it? It normally gets given to someone else. Obviously, Ryan's setting out his toys and that for 10:30 tonight, so that's his. So once he finishes playing a bit with his new toy, I'll let Ryan have a wee go at answering that, mate. Do you think Brendan will get manager of the year?
I think if we win the treble, I think he's probably got to get it because winning if we just won the league, then I'd probably say no. But to win a treble, it doesn't matter what level you're at. It doesn't matter how much finances you've got. That's incredible. So if we win the treble, I'll say yes. If we don't, I would probably give it to David Gray because the way that he's transformed Hibs, the unbeaten run they're on, is phenomenal for a team like Hibs to do that consistently.
Yeah.
Is pretty impressive, mate. Because if we done that, we'd be shouting for the rooftops for it. So I want to say a big congratulations to David Gray and a big kind of pat in the back to the Hibs board for actually sitting by him because it could have been very easy for him to sack him. And who knows what would have happened with Hibs if he sacked him because with the looks of it, we're playing good football, the players are banging into what he's want to do and he's turned that around, mate. So I think it all stems on us winning the treble. If we win the treble, then I think he's got to get it. I think he's got to because that's incredible to win
Do
a
you
treble.
think the treble is the only thing that would cement that, though, Ryan? Because you've got to look at Brendan's.
I think so,
That'll
mate.
be
I
him
think
winning the
so.
most honours
Aye.
ever as a Celtic manager since.
What I know what you're saying, mate. I'm maybe trying to be. I'm maybe trying to be unbiased here and try to look at it.
I mean, I'm sorry, I'm meaning just for the league as well.
Aye. I think that if you win the most trophies, you should probably get it. Right, let's be fair. No matter how much finances you've got to spend and
Yeah.
whatever else, because if you win the most trophies, then you're the best team, you're the best manager. So realistically, aye. But I think if we win the treble, JP, I think that kind of cements it. I don't think anybody else can get it. But if we don't, then I think David Gray. Either way, if we do or not, I think David Gray's up there with a shout anyway. So I personally think it's between Brendan and David Gray. Stephen will obviously give me a shout with St Mirren again, top six again. But I think personally the only two that, in my opinion, that you could say is probably running for it would be David Gray and Brendan.
We talk about the singer here. We talk about David Gray, the Hibs manager.
Anyone you want, mate.
I was just wondering if he carries his white ladder about with him. I wasn't sure if you were who we were talking about.
No, it's Tom Ford's, man. Gucci belts.
No, that's Brendan. It was good to see. That's what I said the other night. It was good to see him having Mouldies on Tom Ford's one. He was able to kick a ball last time instead of phone.
I'm saying, mate, you can't hide money.
No, definitely not. That's how Big Alan's no here. It was asked there, where's the other amigo? Big Alan's away trying to buy the same Mouldies as Brendan had on Saturday. Because some of when he's up in the Wynford, Mary Hill, down the Scotto, some of the grass is too slidey, Ryan. He's forever fun, mate, and showing us all his grass stains.
He's been getting complaints, hasn't he, that he's not doing his job properly, so he's got to get his mouldy screwed in a bit, and he's Tom Ford, and I think he'll do a job a bit better then. So he's been warned, so hopefully he can get that sorted, get his footwork sorted.
Apparently bouncing traffic cones off taxi windies, mate, isn't the way to go, mate, so he's going to need to...
That's not play his total, play your cars right to the jail, that.
Aye. He's got a right chin for it, right enough. People actually think he's Bruce Forsyth. Aye. Play your cards right. Big man stood in the middle of the road going higher or lower.
Higher or lower, aye.
Aye. If I go any higher, I'll end up hitting that bridge.
He's playing Scotto, brilliant.
Yeah. So we comment here for MT Celts by grab B, no C. B was, remember that was verified on Monday night there. It's not the one that says C, it's a B. The great saviour of Barry Ferguson, the real Rangers, should be manager of the year. I think it's now time we put MT Celts big grab on strike two now, Ryan. I don't know about you, mate, but that part is unbelievable.
Aye, I think if Barney continues the way he's gone with Rangers, you're lucky, mate. Top six if he was here the full season, but it looks it. So, aye, I don't think we Barry will be getting manager here. I don't think Barry will win the dugout after the end of this season. So,
Right, big man,
um,
you're heading for strike three with that part. He says, what chin? He's talking about Alan. That's terrible, you. Come on.
we
Nearly as
have
bad
got a
as yours,
photo.
JP. What's that? My hairline.
We have actually got a photo of wee Barry, possibly maybe getting up to get his
We have.
man of the year trophy. We've
Well, we
actually been
have.
photo.
Well, it was. This was quite a. It was quite a quick photo that was taken, and apparently this was him driving into Hampden Car Park.
There he
So
is. Aye.
there he's there, and he nearly got a. What what really got me about the storyline was the audacity that he tried to partner disabled by mate. I really don't. I really don't. I really don't know why he had the nerve to do something like that, mate. He's trying to partner disabled by mate, and he thinks because he's a Rangers manager, he just hits out with the patter. I've got a blue badge.
I've got a boy Peter badge.
I've got a blue badge.
Look,
You think?
there's my badge. Yeah, it's
Aye.
there.
You think that's no? His
Brilliant.
la- his lanyard was staunch.
Aye, staunch, aye.
It says Hummel on it.
Wee Barry.
No, 100%. By the way, and James spot on there. No seatbelt. He should have been fined for that. I actually couldn't believe it. Or his booster seat wasn't fastened properly either.
Aye, I saw that as well, aye.
So that means he wasn't harnessed in properly, especially going near the speed bumps in Govan Hill. It's
To be fair, he's probably trying to get
dangerous.
away with a fine because I don't think they can afford any more fines, mate. So
Oh. A guy says to him, how did you not call a cab? He says, have you not heard? I don't pay my taxis, mate.
I don't pay my taxis. I get you DTs instead.
Aye. 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 Charles Green's away now. I can't get away with that anymore.
Aye.
But no, it's been a pretty good wee start. We 14 minutes here. Obviously, getting sidetracked. Comments are coming in. People talk about Alan's chin. I don't know why Anne Jem was coming for nearly as bad as yours. I don't know if that means that could mean one of my wee things about me. I don't know what it's if it's my hairline, you're gonna get slagged back here. Honestly, that's terrible. Slagging my hairline on Wednesday night, especially tonight. Come on. I lost my hair when I was 16. Oh, it brings back a lot of bad memories. What a card game that was, by the way, I'll tell you. It's was that was quite a lengthy process. That I got to that point where I asked, it was like Joe at still game. I tried to get the boys to put a farm foods bag in my head. I don't know about what came.
How you like?
Oh, right, okay. So we've established it's my patter. Okay. There we go. Chris Money, how you doing? Evening, boys, in the chat. Late to the chat as well. I don't worry about it, mate. We're just killing time till you got here. So, we'll just talk about Barry Ferguson trying to partner disabled by his fancy Lambrini motor.
So that's a nice wee cut. That's a nice wee colour and all for his wee motor.
Aye. I seen the boys today, they were off for Thursday. Charlie Adam and Jamie Ness, they were there. They were dead thirsty today, so they were in. It was nice to see they're keeping themselves well hydrated, mate.
It's always good to keep hydrated, mate, in this weather.
Yeah.
Especially in Glasgow, there's when it gets warm here, it gets warm, mate. So you need to always stock up on the old H2O.
Yeah, 100%, mate. That's how some of them get called lava heat.
Aye, Lavy, you're getting it.
Aye. But no, I thought it would have been a good wee idea to come on tonight, mate, and talk about Celtic. Not just obviously just as a team, but obviously becoming champions, what that entails, Ryan, how they continue to dominate year in, year out, mate. And who do you think are the key components and the key players of that that ingredient to make that happen? And for me, I'll just start us off, mate. I think Brendan Rodgers is a big factor there. That and Callum McGregor, because they drive standards at the club, and then you've got guys like Casper and other boys that come in and help that. Joe Hart was there before as well. We know he was quite a big character, but in terms of yourself, mate, what do you think as to why they're so relentless? Yeah.
I think it's mentality is a massive thing, JP. If you've, it's all right saying that you're good players, but some players don't have the mentality and the drive, and I don't want to say hunger, but to keep winning trophies, to turn up every day, to strive, especially in Scotland now. It's no disrespect to the Scottish League, but you play the same teams all the time, four times a year, sometimes 3 times a year. So it could be easy to go, "Do you know what, we've already beaten him 3 times this year. We'll just turn up the day and we'll win." It's not like that to continue to get up and win the same trebles or doubles or the same league every year against the same teams. And I for me it's again I think it's always underplayed, mate, just because it's the Scottish League and
Yeah.
because you've got the best finances. Listen, of course, at the start of the season when you look at the team, Celtic expected to go and win the league, right? But with expectation carries pressure, and you still need to go and do that. I.e., McGregor and the manager's got to cope with the pressure. When you don't win, it's a disaster at Celtic. That's just, it shouldn't be, but that's the way it is. If you lose one
Yeah.
game, it's why you're losing a game. That's not acceptable. If you draw, it's right, it's not great, but next week you need to win. It's to have that, to carry that can every week and every training session and represent the club like that. I don't think people realise how mentally hard in a way that you need to do that every single day, every season, day in, week out, big games in and out. And it's, for me, one reason is the manager's probably the biggest reason, but for me, Cal McGregor's incredible, mate. His mentality, anytime he talks in his pressers, he's always very intelligent. He says the right things. He says things like he might make wee digs, or he might say things that are maybe being critical, maybe some of the players or whatever, but he does it in a way where it's very intelligent. He's very professional, and he's always talking about working hard. And yes, the league's finished, but we've still got other targets now. We still need to do this. We need to do that.
Yeah.
And to have guys like that addressing him, mate, I don't know what you think, but or the rest of the viewers as well that are watching. But for me, it's very important to have people like that addressing, because it can be very easily just say like myself, right? I could be 25 goals in the season, 3 goals, 3 games left, double in the bag. Or, do you know what? I've got 3 games to my holiday. I'll just half it. I've got my goals tally. I'll just go through the training sessions. Can't wait to end the season, relax for a few weeks, get a few nights out to go on holidays. I could just easily relax. But when you've got guys in that division, listen, we've still got this today. You've got that today. You've got 30 goals to get. You've got that to get, and it drums up the standard, because you don't want to see in training, JP. For me, anyway, if I looked at it as a player in that level, if I've got guys like McGregor or Engels, Hatate, whoever it is, and they're first at the doggies all the time, first at the rondos, first at everything, and I'm like, I'm wanting to be like that. I'm wanting to be
Yeah.
prepared to even beat them at every session and every five-a-side game, etc. So I think there's always an edge, and I think having guys like McGregor, mate, is vital for that, because if you don't got that, because I think with the looks at across the road, across the water, if you've got Liam Kelly basically come out and saying we're not getting what the manager's trying to do here. It's not coming across to us. We're trying, but we can't do it. But you've got 2 players saying we're buying into what the manager's starting today. Another season, another pre-season under this manager, we'll get to grips again and improve. And I just think mentality makes the biggest thing. Obviously, ability comes with it, but to have the mentality to keep going and eating properly and training properly, it's massive, mate. And when you win trophies, mate, like I think it was
Yeah.
McGregor says at the end of the game against United, all the sacrifices you do all year, but i.e. training hard, no going nights out, eating healthy,
Yep.
all the things that comes with being successful, you reap the rewards at the end of the season with trophies, and then maybe for 2 or 3 weeks, you can go your jollies, you can go and eat your chocolate bars, you can go and do what you want, because you know you've earned it through the season.
Yeah, 100%, mate. We all know, mate, there's a lot of sacrifices that go in to a full season. And, you know, you mentioned guys like Callum McGregor, Brendan. For me, mate, they're the standard setters. You know, they set the precedent for what the rest of the team. We've already heard Brendan talk about Callum on the pitch being a coach and a kind of a go between for him and the players when they're on the field. But then I think a lot of it, Ryan, comes down to football and IQ as well, mate. The players out there, when you're playing under a manager, you get to know his way of doing things, and eventually it becomes autopilot. Now, I understand football works for different people. You can tell somebody one thing, they'll probably be able to go and do it, but it'll take somebody a couple of times to, especially if it's maybe one of the foreign guys that's coming here, and it'll take them a few times and a few goes at doing it before they become accustomed to it. That's why you see players taking longer to settle than others. Like see your Scottish boys. I think there was a question in, I can't remember who it was in the comments now. It was regarding Luke McCown. Or I think the question I seen was, do I think Luke McCown will make the step up to? He's already done that for me. I don't think Luke McCown. I don't think you're judging Luke McCown looking at him saying, you know, is he good enough or is he not? He's shown he's good enough. He's shown he can compete. He's shown he can do it. He's shown that he's able to come in and be, you know, a great fit for the squad. So for me, I don't think Luke McCown needs to prove anything else. I think what you'll see the difference next season is when Luke McCown will, you know, he'll have a pre-season with the team. We never had that this season. Neither did a good few of them. Arnie Engels being one as well. Jota, if he's fit. There's other guys there that didn't have a pre-season with the team. So, but Luke McCown knows what it takes to. He knows what Celtic's all about first and foremost because he's one of us. So, I think it's important, Ryan, having a Scottish contingent there that know the club. Guys like James Forrest, Carl McGregor, even Tony Ralston. As much as Tony Ralston doesn't play, he still knows what it's all about to be here. And these guys know they've been about now to understand and know what Celtic are all about, what we strive towards every year, and what it is we're trying to achieve. When you live in Glasgow, mate, you know, it's unfortunately Partick Thistle doesn't come into the equation of people say there's only two teams in Glasgow. One half of the Glasgow support us, and the other half support the team across the water. So, growing up as a kid, mate, you go with one, you go with the other, and then you grow and you learn what everything's about. And so it's the same when these players come through the academies, right? And for me, that's what's so important. But then you've got a manager who also has an emotional attachment to the club, i.e. he's a fan. So he's a big Celtic fan as well. So he knows what the fans require, what they demand. I just think that, Ryan, in itself, mate, it's really important. It's a really important ingredient because you see them across the water, they've brought foreign managers in and they've came here, they've maybe not got to grips to what it's all about. Now, for me, that's a different club. Since 2012, that's became a different club, a different mindset, a different, you know, a different culture. And a lot of them, Barry Ferguson, we hear him speaking, a lot of them are set in their ways. They're set in a mindset of what they remember from way back in the day when Walter Smith was there. God rest him. And, people that worked at Rangers then, for me, Rangers have changed. When Rangers went away down the leagues and had to start again and become this new team, for me, it's a different culture. But their fans have remained the same. Their fans have stayed where they are. So they fully believe that they should be challenging. They should be doing this. They should be doing that. A lot's changed with that club, right? And that's the difference. They don't really have anything in their squad, mate, like a Barry Ferguson or like someone who really knows what the fans demand. Not necessarily what the club's about, because Chris Boyd, I laughed when he said this club's known for winning trophies, and Big Sutton put him in his place straight away. He's like, well, no, not in recent times. It's alright him saying, yeah, we still won the most, but I don't know how, mate. Your club was formed in 2012, so I don't know how have you won the most. So yeah, as I say, for me, it's important, and to have these people around the place, and I think that's part of, obviously, quality is a big part of it as well, and the level of player that you're bringing in. But part of the, that winning formula, Ryan, and that continuous and success is coming for the manager, the captain, guys like James Forrest. Because for me, mate, that is vital to have these guys around the place.
Aye, it's vital to have a Scottish continuity and guys that have come up through the system, because that obviously the guys who, like you say, Forrest, McGregor, Ralston, they can tell guys who are coming to the club, listen, this is what it's like here, this is what it's like outside of the club, this is what you expect you to do here, this is what you need to do to succeed here, and everything that comes with it. You might get a bit of pressure from the fans, but if you do well, you'll be loved, you'll be lauded with the fans, and everything that comes with playing for Celtic, they'll be told, especially McGregor. I'd imagine he'll be one of the first ones to come in and have a wee meeting them and tell them welcome to the club and what's the expectations and everything else. And you're right, mate. Obviously, I've crossed the water since then. I think a lot of their fans will admit that they've not got that. They've not got leaders in their team, but we've got that in abundance, and that's one reason why we've been successful.
Yeah.
It's all right saying that you've got good players, but you need to have leaders as well. And your biggest leader is your manager as well. If you've got a manager who's driven successfully, won trophies, been through it all, it stands you in good stead to then tell the players, because if he's been through it, then it's been an experience. If you've no won trophies before, it's hard to then tell players how to win trophies or how to do things to be successful. So for me, guys like McGregor, even Ralston, who might not be your Danny McGrains or your Alistair Johnsons or your Mikael Lustig, he's still a steady Eddie Celtic player. He's been here through the years. He's won trebles, he's won doubles, he's played in Channel, he played for Scotland. So Tony, I think Tony's still only 26, 27. I don't think he's old. I might be wrong in that, but he's not old. He's still pretty young. He might even be younger than that, but he's got a wealth of experience in him, considering he's not been a Celtic number one right back for a long time, but he's been in the squad a long time. So even having guys like that's massive. So no, I think it's massive, mate. And obviously you mentioned, I think one of the commenters mentioned about Luke McKibben. I think Luke McKibben's, personally, I think he's always going to be a squad player. But I think he's a very, very good squad player that can come in and contribute, and they can play any game really, and help you. I think again, I don't think Luke will say that he's because Luke will believe that he can get in the first team, and if he can't believe that himself, then he shouldn't be there. Every player should believe, even guys. I know people might laugh at me, but even guys like Scott Bain, even Johnny Kenny, even the youth guys, they've got to believe they can go in and play. You've got to believe in yourself to go. Listen, I might be on the bench, but I want to train hard, and I've still got the belief that I might know. But even guys like Narovsky, not really playing, but he's got to have a belief that if I keep training hard and Trusty gets injured, or I can get back in and show the manager. You've always got to try and strive to be the best. And for me, JP, I think that's why these guys are playing at the level they're playing at, because they believe in themselves, they believe they're good enough, they've got that swagger and confidence to know they're good enough, because it's all right having the talent, but knowing they're good enough and have the belief to go and do it, it's a different concept, mate. So I think having that, what you said there, mate, is vital. That having guys from different countries like Engels, Hatati, Maeda, listen, it's proved really good for us. But having guys like McGregor, even like Greg Taylor, Ralston, even British people involved in Adamida's
I actually
Irish.
forgot to mention Greg Taylor. I meant to say him as well
Um,
because he's been so important.
even having guys like Scales and either, I know they're not British, but they're Irish, but they're Celtic fans. They've been brought up with Celtic culture. I think
Yes,
so. They're even involved in that.
it's
So
vital. It's vital
I,
to
I,
have.
I think well, but it seems that anyway, JP, we can only go on what we see on the park and after games, and they do seem quite a tight knitted group. And I think under Brendan, every time he's been here, every season, even when he was here the first time, like guys
Uh-huh.
like Armstrong, Christie, all the guys were always out all the time, drinking, but out doing things together, socialising. And I think I've always says, mate, I'm not saying it's going to include alcohol, but getting out as a team and doing things most days or most weeks, I think that breeds success on the park as well.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Team bonding is probably everything. Obviously, during COVID and stuff, that was they weren't able to do stuff like that, and it did have a massive effect on what they were able to do. I mean, we know stories now, like things that were happening and having to get separate changing rooms for different things, and you know, things things happening, that were really really bad, really really bad for football. So, um, I think now the team bonding. I mean, you've seen photos of Greg Taylor and uh, um, Luke McCown. Sorry, Luke McCown was holding Greg Taylor's baby daughter. So things like that, mate. And we also know that they two are really good friends away from the game as well. Even when before Luke signed for Celtic, and you know, but these guys. I mean, Celtic have always had this kind of core group throughout the years. They've had guys like Jackie McNamara and Paul Lambert, Tom Boyd, Tosh McKinley, guys that were all good servants for the club, but knew what the club were all about. People like Joe Miller, Roy Aitken, winners, Ryan. Guys who knew what it takes to go and win against your rivals, to go and win against Aberdeen, to go and beat Hearts, to go to Tynecastle and get victories, to go far in cup competitions. And so throughout the years, mate, this has always been, you know, the, the thing. But for me, that helps to breed success, right? Because um, it's something as well, mate. You can't take it for granted, but to do it consistently um, is just what nothing shy of a miracle, nothing shy of remarkable, mate. Just totally brilliant to continually watching the same. It's the same thing. It churns out all the time, but we're not privy to all the hard work, Ryan, that goes on behind the scenes. So we don't, Brendan talks about it on Saturday there after the game when he's chatting to Chris Sutton and that. What they boys got in that training field and day in and day out. And as you heard Callum McGregor talk about the game on Sunday and other games coming up in the cup final, and that's what he says. And little do we know, he said, well, chatting on the bus coming down the road for Dundee, and that's what he said. After the summer, there's a few weeks now we need to come back to it again.
Mm-hmm.
He says you don't get to, you only get so long, you know, you only get so long to enjoy your success, and then you need to come back at it. I think at Celtic, Ryan, there's, success is the hard work you put in, mate. And it's, as I say, mate, it's remarkable. Obviously, I'm going to ask you regarding the key components that you think goes into this, and why. Uh, who do you think are the kind of key players? I mean, I've mentioned a couple of the ones I think of a continuation of, but who do you think's really key? Obviously, as I said, Brian, it does help because of the quality. Uh, and obviously, you know, it gives it a different spin. But who do you think is the key, or some of the key players that you feel help Celtic to make things look, as Brendan says, make it look easy?
I think, well, obviously, the managers, I know he's not a player, but he's probably the biggest one personally, because he's doing it every day. He's getting up very early to do the planning with John Kennedy and Gavin Stratton. And I like to actually give A2 a bit of praise as well, JP, because obviously during the 10
Yeah,
season, they got a bit of a battering. Let's be fair. Some of it was tongue in cheek, a bit of a laugh and a joke, but they were getting called like laptop boy and all that type of stuff. And the fact that Brendan again
yeah,
kept John on, and he spoke about how he wanted to keep John on, he's kept Gavin on. People say that's because Gordon Strachan's boy, but Gordon Strachan's not with Celtic now. He's at Dundee, doing stuff with Dundee behind the scenes. So that he's not here because it's Gordon Strachan's boy. If that was the case, and Ben didn't like him, he would have said, "Look, thanks for your efforts last season, Gavin, but I'm here now. It's a new regime. Um, Basically, I want to part ways with you." And I don't think Gavin was the bottle, right, okay, I need to move on. But I think John Kennedy, I think a lot of people, I think, underplay his role in this team's IP because just because he was an ex-player and now he's just here because of that. John Kennedy's not here because of that. He's here because he's a fantastic coach. If he wasn't a good coach, Brendan wouldn't have wanted him here. Brendan wouldn't have wanted him to Leicester.
yeah,
So Brendan's obviously got a good thing going with him. They understand each other. They think the same way. So that I think that's important as well, JP, that the coaches are in line with the same philosophy, or if that's what you want to call it now, but the same way of playing, the same thinking. Because if one coach, I think we can maybe say that again. I can't say that through information. I'm only going by what you hear and what you see. That maybe under Tony Mowbray, with Peter Grant, Venus, Mowbray, they're all maybe different thinking and different things, and maybe then they work between the freedom. And that's maybe why on the park it may be confusing. I don't know if that's the case, but I'm just going by that. But I think in terms of playing wise, I actually think Greg Taylor will be involved in it because he's been here, he's experienced in terms of Scottish football, played European football. He's an experienced member of the team now, Greg Taylor. I know he might not be age wise, but he is in terms of experience in the team. I think Casper Schmeichel's vital to it. He always talks about winning mentality, and he's won the Premier League. He's played down south for a long time. He's, I think he's, I actually think he's similar to McGregor. JP, see, just if anybody's not listening to it, he was on the Ben Foster's podcast, the Foscast,
yeah,
and it's just about winning. He says, "I love it at Celtic because I need to win every day at training. I need to win, and if I don't win, it's disaster." He says, "I love having that pressure and having guys at your team, JP, that love pressure. That's brilliant. Seeing us as fans, knowing that your players are going to handle pressure or moments where they're in adversity, they're 1-0 down, right? Okay, right. McGregor, sit back, calm, Casper, right, regroup." Was it the Leipzig game, I think, was it? He done it? Or was it what game was it at home? Was it Leipzig game or Bruges? When he got them in the huddle after one of the goals. Was it Casper?
it was
Was it
Casper. It was a Club Brugge when
That's it. See,
Cameron
how
Carter
see,
Vickers made that
I
error. Yeah,
see small things like that. That's brilliant, mate. People might think that's just small, simple things. That's after the cuff, right? Get in, hurry up. I'm basically a man's on the park. Brendan can only whistle and shout small instructions. He can't get in the he can't get in the tunnel,
yeah,
the huddle. So I think for me, Jipe, I'm going to say probably I think Casper and McGregor is probably two guys that are probably vital to the teammate because I'll keep sitting by it, mate. McGregor's got to play for us because he's vital. I don't know. People say we're better without him. Again, it's people's opinions. We all see football different, but for me, Celtic are by far a better team. And again, on to Sunday, if McGregor plays well, Celtic win the game. It's as simple as that because he dictates. Sorry, what
yeah,
happens in that midfield. So probably say they two are vital. Me, I don't know what you think, but I think Casper's introduction to this team, his experience and his age in terms of his football age, in terms of experience, I think it's vital, mate, to striving to win trophies.
yeah, yeah. I think, I mean, you hear him on the overlap line, and he talks about, he enjoyed the League One with Leicester, and that was amazing. He says it's not until you come up here when he realised what winning actually means for us as Celtic fans. What he sees when he's up here. Joe Hart says the same thing, and he's won things elsewhere as well. And that's what he said. He said, I didn't know winning meant so much to that fan base, the Celtic fans. He says it's everything. He says it's life or death up there, and Casper's the same. He's like, I can't believe it. He said, but it's changed me as a person as well, because it's changed my mentality. He says, and that happens quickly. Because up there, he's talking to Roy Keane and that. He says, up there, as you know, he points to Roy. He says, it grips a hold of you. So it becomes a big thing. And it grips a hold of you. I just put money in my meter there. It's just came back on. Fantastic.
Three bars up, no caring.
How's he get the ball, boys? Wembley. Jesus. I'm Liza. Oh my God, have I died? But no, it's, and see, hearing that, Ryan, for the outside, because Casper's no, I know he was up here with Falkirk and stuff like that, mate, but he's no in the thicky, the goldfish bowl there. But see, hearing that from for something like that, that's astonishing, mate. That just is absolutely astonishing to hear the effect that we've got on these people, albeit they might not have been big Celtic fans before they go here, but fairly quickly he walks in the door and he just falls in love with the place because the way he was treated in America, he says, with the Celtic fans when he got off a plane, and then from then it's just grew and got bigger and bigger. And I think his dad has spoke highly about Celtic now, and it's just, for me, mate, when you see that side of things, I don't know how you feel, Ryan, but when you see that side of things, mate, I just find it phenomenal. And it just goes to show how much of an effect that Celtic can have on you.
It's massive, mate. I think when you come into a big club like Celtic, I think, and you realise you've had a few days what it's all about and what you need to do here, I think it's, for me, mate, in terms of having to win, which it's one of the biggest clubs in the world, mate, for that to happen in terms of pressure, because...
Ryan, sorry to cut in, mate. I want to clear something up. There's something happening in the comments just now, and it's been going on for the last maybe 20 minutes. There's been a comment asking us about political views.
All right.
And anybody that's watched this podcast long enough knows that we don't do that on here. And that's just down to choice. Because we're not a political podcast, we are a football podcast. There's a comment also, Ryan, talking about another Celtic podcast and how they gave their views on a political matter. I'm afraid I'm just not willing to do it. And that's down to my choice. I'm not going to sit here and take up people's time on a Wednesday night. It's been a lovely night outside and everything else. We're on here to have a chat about Celtic. And like I say, anybody that's watched this podcast, we tend to stay away from that. That doesn't make us bad people. It doesn't make us terrible for not doing it or whatever. It's a choice. And politics is one of those things, Ryan. I feel that if you get yourself involved, then you're going to upset someone, because it doesn't matter what you. It's even about football. You say something to one person, and other persons can have a different opinion of you, and regardless of whether we're on a platform or not, mate, we're just we do what it says on the tin. We are a Celtic podcast. We chat about Celtic, and that's basically it, mate.
No, if anybody wants to ask political views, you can ask me after the podcast, but I'm not going to sit in a Celtic podcast giving political views about anything. If it's the government, I can't see half the comments because of my phone, so I don't really want to know what the views are about, because it's no down to. We're here to talk about football, and we all know there's certain things happening in the world that aren't right or shouldn't be happening, and they're wrong. But I'm not going to sit on a Celtic podcast talking about political views, because it's not a place to do it, in my opinion. There's places to do it, and it's maybe in, like you says, in public off. If it's on Twitter, if it's Facebook, if it's this, ask me my views
Yeah.
on whatever. I generally can't see. I don't want to know, but I can't see what the comments are about. But it is whatever it's about. Ask me after this. I'm not going to sit on a Celtic podcast talking about any political views. If it's Labour, Tories, whatever it is, this is not the time for it. This is a Celtic podcast. It's about football. And people's, like you say, Jai, people's opinions are all different on politics and football. So I'm
No,
just going here
listen.
talking. I'm here
So,
talking about Celtic. If anybody wants to know any political views, whatever the political views people want to know, message me after it and we have a debate or have a topic. But I'm not sitting here talking about stuff that I might not even know about
listen, the
properly.
weather's been tremendous today. It's been a lovely night, and I'm not going to sit here on a Wednesday night chatting about politics and chatting about this and chatting about that. But you could do that every single day because there's something happening every day in that sort of that kind of world. So, as I said, mate, you know, there's a comment there about you have a platform. We might do, but you know, we choose to do what we want to do with that platform, and
I'm not going to say
because
something. I'm not going to say something on here that flings us under the bus or flings me under the bus for saying
no, it's not
something that
even
might.
about it, Ryan. It's not even about that, mate. We're here to talk about Celtic tonight,
Is
and
that there?
Celtic have just won the league, and you know this is a getaway from the real world. And if you want to put it that way, that we've all got things going on in personal lives and everything else, and everybody that tunes in and watches us has got things going on in their personal life. So for me, this is a getaway from. I mean, this takes up my headspace to put it somewhere else. If I for anybody on here that watches us, I could have had a terrible day today. I didn't, but I could have had a terrible day today. This is a release for me. This brings a different chain of process in my head and a different chain of thought completely when I sit here. I'm not going to take that time up by talking about unfortunate things that are happening somewhere in the world or an event that's taking place or people's views on this and people's views on that. And I'm also not going to sit here and be told that I'm going to be wrong for doing that either. This is my choice and I'll do whatever I like because it's my freedom of being able to do what I want. If other people chose to do what they wanted to do, and it was said in the comments, Ryan, that it was a Celtic podcast who decided to talk about it, that's up to them. If they want to do that, that's their
By the way, I've
that's
generally
their
not seen it.
platform. And I'm not
I've
going
not
to sit
seen.
here and tell them that they're wrong for doing that either. That's up to them if they
I've
choose.
not seen
No,
anything, by the way. So
neither have I. But regardless, if they want to do that on their platform, that's fine. I'm using my platform and the platform that we have, Ryan, to chat about Celtic and chat about things that are happening with Celtic, and that's it. So,
no, listen. If anybody wants to ask political views or anything else in the world or chat about anything, messages after the podcast. But I'm not sitting on a podcast talking about political views when half the stuff. I'll be honest, half the stuff in politics I don't know enough about. I'm not a political man. I don't watch the news. I generally don't. Man uses Twitter and my own research and Facebook and stuff. I don't watch the news. Since COVID, I turned the news off because I was like, no, I'm turning it off because it's just it fills you with everything. So I've turned it off. So like you say, JP, we've all
well,
got
if you
different
by the way,
opinions.
if you watch the news also tells you that Celtic are bad.
It tells you that Army
And
Engels is rubbish
well,
and
that's what I'm saying.
Taylor.
If you watch the news,
Aye.
uh,
But
and
no, listen, it's a football podcast,
that's
and
it. We're moving on now.
aye,
Back to Celtic. As you were saying, Ryan, obviously you mentioned Casper Schmeichel. Casper Schmeichel is probably a great example of someone from the outside that comes to Celtic that isn't a big Celtic fan. And then, as they say, these guys, these guys are, as you can see, folks, Ryan's having a wee bit of trouble with his new toys.
aye. Sorry, folks. Put the light on.
Aye. Um, did I miss something there? What did I miss? Ah, right. Is that what it means?
Right. No, I've got my old tripod, Scott, and it's dodgy, so I'll need to get my new one back here from my parents' house. So unfortunately, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Aye, as James says, don't go to Aldi, wee man.
Actually, James, I was in Marks Park today, by the way. I'm moving up the world, by the way.
Aye. No, as I say, it's oh, right. I want to apologise. When I seen Ryan in the comments here for and James, I've obviously not seen this comment until the other now, so I do want to apologise to Ryan Moore. And Ryan Moore says 100%. If it wasn't for these podcasts over the last year, I don't know where I'd be. I lost my mum to MS related complications in December there.
Right, okay.
She was Celtic daft and loved this podcast.
Sorry to hear
Ryan,
that.
I'm really sorry to hear that, pal. Really sorry to hear that. And this is what I'm saying, Ryan, about in the real world, mate, people have got enough issues and problems to deal with. So this is a kind of getaway for even us, mate. Like, there's been days you've phoned me, I've stressed out the work, and there's been days like fucking somebody's crashed into my motor and big dent in my driver's door and all that kind of. And there's been days when you're so frustrated, and then you kind of look forward to this because you know this is at night time, and you're like, right, I'll be able to switch off for an hour and a half, whatever it might be. And then guys like Barry Bannon and stuff coming on here, when you're chatting to these guys like Peter Martin, when you're talking to these guys, Adam Virgo, he was a great chat, great chat with Tex as well. It kind of changes your thoughts, and it gives you, it gives you something else to concentrate on.
Aye, definitely, mate. We all need things to concentrate on in our life. We've all got things. People are all different. It doesn't matter how much money you've got or where you stay or if you're abroad or whatever. Everybody's got problems in their life. We've all got, if you want to call it, demons in your life. We've all got things involved in our life. And what Celtic are one of the biggest things that for a lot of people that take them away on a Saturday or a Wednesday, whenever the game is, for that 90 minutes. It's the same as it. It's probably one reason why JP that I miss football, because for 90 minutes, all I done was talk about and play football. That was all I kind of waiting. And after you go, if you get any issues, then you go back to it. But as soon as you're playing that football game or training, it's gone. You're right on the football. And it's the same. People go to Celtic Park, whether you're teetotal or whether you drink, you might go have a few bites, a few beers, you go for lunch, whatever.
After your last night out, you man, I think you'll be teetotal for a while, you know.
I know, I get one of the coffee next time I go.
Some of the videos of you in Big Allen drinking the Venoms, man, that's unbelievable, by the way.
But like you say, a lot of people.
I've heard the saying about being that bitter, all the vegetables you eat are peas and all that, and carrots if you're the other side, but I've not heard of the saying of you're that bitter, man. All the drinks you drink are green.
I green Venoms. But no, I think a lot of people, a Saturday, doesn't matter if you're Celtic fans, even name across the water, by the way, Rangers fans, it could be Aberdeen, Partick Thistle, whoever it is. If you are, let's be fair, most of the time if you get a season book order or you go to games, a Saturday's football day. It's always been for me, even though I'm working, I don't play anywhere. Saturday's still football day. It's either put a coupon on or it's watch Celtic or it's go and watch a game. It's always football day.
For anybody watching, please gamble responsibly as well.
It's always a wee $5 coupon or something. Be interesting. Football's always a Saturday for majority of guys who go and watch the football. So and even females, it might be the same now as well because the female game's getting up and coming now. And a lot more females go to football. So I think it's a switch off, mate, and that's why a lot of people when Celtic don't do well, Celtic no one, and then your Monday's no good, and that's one reason why a lot of people get annoyed because it's ruined their day, and it's just the way it is. And no, Celtic's a big thing for people, mate, especially in the East End, because let's be fair, East End of Glasgow's more the best areas compared to a lot of places in the world, and a lot of people. The biggest thing you've got to the football. It's a big novelty to go to every week, and it's a see your pals, and it's a massive switch off.
You've got enough to amuse yourself. You've got the delicatessens over there, and you've got the amusement part over there.
Aye, but no, listen, Celtic's a massive thing for a lot of people, mate, and it's probably to a lot of people, mate, it's the biggest thing in our life. So when you get to chat about it like we do on here and people watch us, it's listen, we don't take it for granted. We just do this because we love doing this and we love talking about Celtic, and we're lucky enough to have guys like Baz on board and speak to guys like William and speak to guys that we've done, and we're very privileged to do that. And we'll continue to, for as long as you guys want us on here and continue to talk about this, we'll continue to do it. So again, Manuela, apologies, mate, and condolences to your family and yourself, mate, and anything we can do to help, mate, just let us know.
Yeah, 100%, Ryan. If you need a chat, mate, just reach out. We are on social media personally as well, so you can reach out to us and send us a message, mate, and we'll gladly have a wee chat with you, no problem. Obviously, Celtic, with 1-4 in a row on Saturday there, Ryan. What do you think? Oh, sorry. Who do you think has been our best player this season and why?
If you're going to say consistently, I think it's Cal McGregor. I think consistently he's been part of it every 2 or 3 weeks. I think he was a wee bit off it, but apart from that, he's been brilliant. If you're going to go for January to now, it's been Maeda. If you say parts of the first half of the season with Nicholas Kuhn, so it's probably see the three guys that are up from the player of the year for us. That's the three guys you would probably nominate to be the best player. I'm probably going to say people might think it's it's maybe old fashioned or whatever, but I'm going to say Callum JP because I just think the fact that we went through a few weeks of maybe not playing well and maybe results weren't for us, but and he was still kind of driving us on, and I think for me he's always a massive part, JP, and I think people again it's not original because he probably is our best midfielder when he's on it, and technically and everything that comes with it. I just think McGregor, mate's been brilliant again, and I wouldn't be surprised if we got player of the year. I think Maeda's probably going to get it through the league because he's for January to now, the goals he scored and the big goals he scored for us. But I think for me, again, it's all about opinions and how you see the game, mate. But I just think McGregor for me is vital with this team, JP, because I think without McGregor, I think some games you might not win.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, all you need to do is look at the last derby. For me, not so much, and I just thought we lacked a wee bit of direction in that area of the field. And it took until the second half to really, for Atati to get a grips with the game. And then he sort of, he grew into the game as we went. He scored a great goal that day as well. But no, I really think McGregor's massive for the team, mate. There's a number of players. Nicholas Kuhn's had a really good season as well. Albeit, people going, he went off it. Wingers do that. They're inconsistent at the best of times. But he was top for a lot of the season. Scored a lot of big goals for us. Leipzig, away to Munich as well. I nearly got my prediction right. We nearly won away from home that night, and it's coming. Honestly, it's coming. It's definitely coming, me man. I know you keep laughing. I'm going to get it right eventually. But it's definitely coming, and I know, like Brendan says, and I loved his honesty on Saturday night. When he's standing talking to Faddy and he's standing with him, and he's saying, we're never going to win the Champions League, but we've shown we can give these teams something to think about. Teams like Bayern, and I love that for him. I love that honesty. I love the way he talks, Brendan, and he's spot on. We were that away for putting Bayern Munich out of the Champions League round.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether we went any further again after that, I mean, we probably wouldn't have, because I would imagine Inter Milan would have beat us over the two legs. I'm just being honest here. But could you imagine the accolades of the team then? We put Bayern Munich out of the Champions League. I mean, that nearly happened. They took a doing off the German press, mate. We seen the headlines. I mean, they were getting layered off it that Celtic outplayed them and done this and blah, blah, blah. And Harry Kane was a big flop, and things were getting said in Germany and company. I reckon that I spoke to you and Barry Bannon about this. I know you boys went, nah, probably no, but I says, by the way, that would have been a big decision for Bayern to make there, whether Vincent Kompany kept his job or not. Because getting beat with Celtic, mate, that would have been a big, a team for Scottish football. The way they looked down in Scottish football, mate, would have been, so that would have been massive for us if we managed to get that result. But it wasn't to be. But listen, it was if, how did that make you feel as a Celtic fan? You were so proud of them that night now. You know, this is a team that not so long ago, mate, you had bet against them to get beat 5-0 in Atalanta. But in the same breath of saying that, do you know that's funny, right? I'm only having a joke here, but I can understand why, because of we used to be the whipping boys when we went away from home. Teams used to no fear us. Now, this season, Ryan, teams are looking at us going, by the way, Celtic are, they're well coached under a great manager and knit a couple of players in together. KT coming back in there, bringing in a wee bits of quality. Brendan's looking at that, Ryan, and that's what he's talking to McFadden and McNamara about the weekend. He's excited. You could see the excitement in him. Oh, couple of players, and by the way, we could worry teams. We've got enough there to really put it on teams, especially when we get into Champions League. So I think when you look at that, Ryan, you look at Nicholas Kuhn. It's been said in the comments tonight, Alistair Johnston. He's had a very good season. I know he's took a dip as well, but again, he's had a great season. Cameron Carter-Vickers, he's managed to keep himself fit this season as well. Like a rock. Greg Taylor, big accolades again for the manager. Captain talks about him coming in the field and everything else. For me, he's a big miss to the team. Sometimes the team needs that depending on who you're playing against, you need somebody to come in the field. So again, Greg Taylor's, for me, he's been very good when he's played. Hatate over the last period of months, the last couple of months, at least, mate, he's unplayable now. Yeah, it's just remarkable.
Aye, if you fancy that, Rab, we could do that for you, mate. Yeah.
Only much are you willing to pay us, Rab? Much are you offering? It's coming to the end of the season, so we'll what is it they saying? Tenerife, I'll give you a good price. I'll lifetime guarantee, mate. It's no, but it's definitely something we can look into. And this is it, folks. Oh, like Rab are mentioning, if you have got anything at all you would like us to see, you'd like us to do, you'd like to see from us, don't be frightened to send it in to us. That's it. No, 100%. Listen, that's what we're all about. Ryan, this is what we want, isn't it? We talk about this. How often do we talk about this? And we say more engagement for you guys would be brilliant. Absolutely. And whatever ideas you've got, I tell you what, Rab, we'll do that episode for you as long as you come on a dial. I don't think I'm being unfair. I don't think I've said anything out of turn, Ryan. I think it's only right that Rab comes on a dial one night for a wee bit of banter.
We'll do that show, Rab, on a dial, and you can come on and put your opinions across, mate. No, but listen, it's a cracking idea, and it's something we could do the next week or two. I would say we could even a small bit on a few players that have been doing well. We could even get a few. We could even get Morgan McGee some of his stuff as well, and we can look at it even a bit more ourselves, a bit more research. So, no, definitely.
By the way, what stuff you talking? What stuff you thought about for William? Last time he gave his stuff, Alan, was after 2 weeks. Remember?
You'll find out 10:30, by the way, if you're trying to night. But no, like he says, any ideas as well that he's want us to do. We've obviously got our own ideas on what we're going to do in the future and stuff. But anything that you want us to do, talk about, we're all ears.
Rab, you don't need to show your face, mate. You can come on in the audio. You don't need to show your face. That's the beauty of it. And I've said this millions of times on the dial-in as well. You don't have to show your face. You don't need to come on camera. You can come through just as an audio, so we can only hear you. So we don't need to see you. You're not getting away with that, Rab. You're not getting out of this. You're not getting away with this, mate. Every hurdle you put up, my man, I'll do a Colin Jackson and escape it, my man. So don't worry about that.
No,
But you
I
don't
can
need
get that.
to.
I can get it though. A lot of people, like I say, that it's either for you or it's no. And I understand it. Listen, when I first started doing this, I was like a wee scared wee boy. I didn't know what I was doing. Do you know what I mean? Still got that now, right enough,
He's
but
still the same. I've got to give him sedatives and all that before he comes on, so that he's calmed down a wee bit before he gets on. Do you know what I mean?
I need my cup of coffee before I come on.
Aye. But no, anybody that wants to chat with us on the dial, and as long as you don't use a lot of bad language and you're not saying the F word every 2 words you use, then you'd be fine to come on and chat with us. But you don't have to show your face. You don't need to. And by the way, I'm not meaning that to be disrespectful or I'm not being horrible there. You can come on and just as an audio, so that people can hear you. You don't have to show your face. It's not a necessity. We've just been fortunate, Ryan, that the people who have phoned in the dial-in, they choose to come on camera, but they don't have to. I think we had a guy do it one night, and I think he was listening to Capital Radio at the same time. And who
He
was
was
that
talk.
again? Who
I
was that
can't
again?
remember, but he came on. I think what he was saying was it was actually good stuff, but we couldn't hear him properly because there was stuff in the
Aye.
background. But I
I don't
know.
even know. I don't even know who that was. I can't even remember who it was. But again, that was, and off the top of my head, I can't remember what episode it was for me to say, go back and have a look at that, Rob. But you don't have to show your face, man. You really don't. You can come on through audio. And again, you can even, if you don't want to do that, you can send in an audio. So you can record an audio, like a voice audio, and send it to us through Messenger on the page, or send it through Twitter to myself or Ryan or Big Alan. But you don't need to. You don't need to be on camera. So you're not getting away with that one, Rob. So don't hit us with that excuse, mate, of you don't show your face. I was on the radio on Saturday, folks. Representing the podcast on BBC Sports Sound. Good chat. And I was asked about Brendan Rodgers being, being so good and what my thoughts were with Brendan and stuff. Had a wee laugh, Ryan, because I thought to myself, first time I was on with you guys, I had Kevin Thompson practically tell me that his job was on the line. If, they don't win the next game, the job could be on the line. It could be getting elbowed. And then I think it was it the Motherwell game at Fir Park? When Motherwell take the lead and go in at half time, 1-0 up. That was the night, the day that Big Adam Ida come on and get the brace and rescued the game for us that day. There was Celtic fans, I seen Celtic fans on social media saying then, Brendan's on a shaky nail here and blah, blah, blah. It's just amazing how football changes, Ryan, isn't it? To the actual turnaround to what you're seeing now and how comfortable now he is in the role.
I've always says, mate, us as fans or whoever it is, at a certain point in time, you can only comment on what you feel at that point in time. Nobody can tell the future. It's like I can say now that Marco Tully will never play again and he's not good enough, but then in a year's time, he could be brilliant. And then I could look like an absolute tool. But we can only go on what we see at the time. But even myself, I was like, by the way, here, if we don't win the league here, he's under pressure. I did say that because I think it would have been JP. If he didn't win the league, he would have been
Do you
under
mean
pressure.
last season when it got tighter?
Aye, if he didn't win
Aye.
the league, I think he'd have been under pressure to succeed right away this year because winning the league at Celtic's got to happen. Realistically,
Here's a question for you. Were you as a Celtic fan, were you ever in any doubt?
I wasn't in any doubt, no, but I was kind of like, I think if we lost that game, I think it would have been 5 points. I think, and if we had won, it might have been 8 or 7. 8, I think.
Was
8.
that the Motherwell game? You mean
I think
that
so.
actual
Aye.
game? Yeah.
I think it is because of the first half performance was probably the worst I've ever seen for that team that season. It was really bad, and for me, they looked gone. In that first half, they looked gone. The full team just looked lost. I was like,
I think the St
Jesus Christ.
Johnson game and all, the one up in
Aye.
Perth, remember that was
But
a
no,
bad day at the office as well.
I think JP, we're always, when we watch football, for me especially, I'm maybe not as bad now, but you you get really emotional during the game, and at that moment in
Yeah.
time, or that pass, oh Jesus Christ, you're in a group chat, that's all it's all about, and then when you step back, all
Aye,
right, you
you did
won the
that when
game.
Liam Scales was warming up.
Aye. I think it's just sometimes your emotion takes you. It's no when you come back to the game or you look at it again and a day or two later you go, right, it maybe wasn't as that bad, maybe that was like, it's just the emotion of the game, and because you see it in an instant, you can't see it back again. At that time when you go, that first half was terrible, boo, this and that, no boo, but you know what I mean, this is terrible, he's under pressure, or he's bad, and then at half time we came out and you win, I think 3-1 we won. Oh, that was actually no bad second half for
I was just
it.
thinking that when you said boo, you must have been at Ibrox that day when
No,
when you heard that.
no, but you know what I mean? A lot of people, that's terrible. And by the way, there's some fans that they boo. Listen, I've always said it on here. If you want to boo, that's your opinion, but not for me. But I
But
just think,
the ones I hear doing that, right, it's about October, and it's normally when Halloween's coming up to date, don't they?
aye,
They just make that wee
aye.
noise.
No, but for me, I think I was actually on the radio, I think, near the end of the season, and they were asking me about the league, and I says, look, Celtic got experience, some guys like McGregor, the manager's been through the
Do you think
rigmarole
that's a
before.
difference, Ryan? Do you think that's a difference with the titles and stuff like that? Do you think the difference is we've got winners in my team and they've no?
We've got the better ability as well, but I think it's been
Well,
there and
that as
done it
well.
as well. But being there and done it and know how to go through title race, how to go through big games, how to manage finals and semi-finals, how to manage tight games, it's mate, I think it is because just say see the games where just say Dundee or something, sometimes they score first, right?
Yeah.
When they score first against Celtic, it used to be them across the water as well, but knows much now, right? When they score first, it's all right, we're in front here. What do we do now? Do we go
Aye.
attack or do we defend? Or because the game plan changes because it's not much just to frustrate Celtic and sit in and then try and get a goal. But because if we score first, it's right, all right, we can maybe go a bit forward now. But if you 1-0 up, it's like, right, what do we do? So it's then having to go through that as a team in these tight games and go and score or go and win the game. And I think it's being involved in football and winning games like McGregor and stuff like that, and Rodgers as a manager, and being in the situations before,
Yeah.
you can calm the players down. You can go, right, okay, right, I think what he done a few weeks ago after the St Johnson game, for what he says, by the way, it's the first time he's really come out in public and kind of gave a bit of jip to the players. It was brilliant because the players responded to it. So I
Yeah.
think, see when managers,
By the way, he
I think,
also changed the team. He took
aye, I
players. He
think
took
one
players out the team.
thing, I think it's a good point you mentioned as well. With them across the water with Ferguson, right? His standards when he played and who he played under and who he played with is night and day. To football's moved on, right? You can't go in and kick bottles and sandwiches out. You can't do that anymore. It's just football's moved on. Players don't react to a lot of that now. But what I think, because he might do that every game or every meeting, that won't stick. Once or twice, all right.
Yeah.
I've got a bit of, but see, I think Brendan does it often. I think he's always dead relaxed and he speaks to you one to one, and it's dead. We've seen it in the documentary last year. He's always dead calm, and but he says it in an aggressive tone, but it's very calm. I think when he goes Tonto, it's oh Jesus, right? That's the gaffer talking off, right? We need to listen. We need to,
Aye.
something's wrong here.
Well, you heard
And
McGregor in the documentary
aye,
about the St Johnson game and how he went
aye,
off his. Or was
mhm,
it a Motherwell? Aye, it was a Motherwell game at Fir Park, and he lost it. And they said to McGregor, no, they said to Brendan, how were you? Or what was it like? And Brendan says, he was well asking Callum, I don't know, like, what do you mean, how was it? And he says
I
to
think
Callum, how was it?
that's
And he went, scary.
I think that's the thing, mate. That I think when you don't do it often and then you do it, I think that's when it kicks in. Wow, whoa, right, okay, Gaff, we know we've done wrong here, but I think if you get that all the time, I don't think the message gets across because it's just a bollock and it's
Well,
just
I have
shouting.
definitely
You know
heard,
what I mean?
mate, that in not so many words, he kind of said to people, he said to some of the players, like, especially after the St Johnson game when they beat us up there, he said to some of the players, listen, I want to sprint over this line.
Aye.
So if you're not willing to do this, if you're not willing to, we've worked hard all year, we ain't going to throw it away now. And he wasn't cussing and swearing, he wasn't using bad language or anything. He just says, if you don't want to do it and you don't want to, be at the standards where I and the rest of the team are set, he says, that's fine. He said, but I'll tell you something right now. I'll bring people here who will.
Mm-hmm.
So he says, and he just says, it's fine. It's fine. Don't want to do it. Cool. Fine. I'll take you out the team. There's people sitting who are working hard to get in this team and deserve to win this team as well, but I just can't pick them because everybody's, playing well and playing at a high level. But when you do that and you go and make it easy for me to go, right, you're coming out of the team, he says, if you want to do it over a period of time, that's fine. He says, but I'll bring people who I know can do it. And see, as you said, mate, see if that's a gaffer talking to you, Ryan, and like you says, if he's not a ranter or a raver and he doesn't, he'll certainly be raving if Celtic won a treble, that's for sure. The glow sticks and everything, but that'd be a guarantee. But you know what I mean there, if he's not a normal shouter, like you says, if he's, and he then has a stern word with you, it's along the lines. Like I says to you before, mate, I says to you after that St Johnson game, nobody expected that. Because we were all sitting going, this got to be about 5-0 here, 6-0. Because the way Celtic have been winning now, the last couple of games, you expected that to happen to that day. And I actually said it to my family, my mum, my dad, Pamela, even the wee man. I was talking to my boy, and it's about 6-0 here, 7-0. I said to you, we'd be lucky to walk out of there. St Johnson would be lucky to keep the score down to about 6.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody seen that coming. Now, that's not me being disrespectful to St Johnson by saying that. I just didn't see that happening. I really didn't. I didn't see Celtic at that point where we lose the game, And when it happened, and like I say, I've always been the same, Ryan. So see, like say when Celtic won something, I don't get too carried away, mate. I've always never done it. And when Celtic lose or don't win something, it helps me not to get too disheartened, and I don't get too annoyed about it. I've been on the phone to you, and we lost a derby, and you're like, oh, I can't believe they beat us, man, and blah blah blah, and it's a shame, and I'm always like, just calm down, man. It's all right. And you're like, how can you be calm? Like, it's just I grew up, mate, in an era where Celtic didn't win anything, and that's where I've came from. So to watch Celtic do what they're doing now, it's magical. But again, I remember the times of when, when I hear guys like yourself, and again, this isn't a disrespectful thing I'm saying here, I know, you're used to seeing Celtic winning constantly, Ryan, right? You've kind of grew up in an era that Celtic have been dominant. I grew up in an era they weren't, mate. I grew up in an era where Celtic battered Rangers off the park and didn't win, and lost trophies and get beat. Rafe Rovers were beating us in finals, and, like I say to you, mate, I used to go to games thinking to myself, wonder what score will be today. My dad used to say, we'll be lucky to win a game here. And this is teams like Dundee United and Aberdeen were playing here. So I remember Celtic when they won what they are now. And you look at it now, and it's easy not to get carried away, Ryan, because I'm trying to enjoy. I called it a golden era for us in Monday night on the dial, and I still believe it, mate. This is a golden era for us, I'm not silly enough to think it's going to happen forever. There'll come a point in time, mate, where Celtic don't win the league. Whether it's 5 years from now, next year, the year after, whatever. And Celtic fans need to, especially this younger generation of fans, mate, they need to prepare themselves for this, because what I grew up in, telling you, me, man, the River Clyde would be full of people in it. They'd be jumping off at Kingston Bridge, because Celtic never won a thing. So to go through that repetitively and watch the old Rangers winning 9 in a row and everything else, think about that. And then say to yourself, I've watched Celtic be bad, Ryan. I remember Lou McCarry and Liam Brady and how the Celtic team looked then. Some really good John Collins, but overall, mate, we never had enough quality
I don't.
And
I don't
I
mind getting
remember
beat.
that, Ryan, to be no dominant. So
Aye.
I've always got that that helps me because I remember it's easy when you go. It's easy to the contrast. Celtic might not have played well in that game, fair enough, but as Celtic poor, as Celtic, I remember when Celtic were poor, mate.
I don't mind getting beat, but see when you get beat and you don't turn up at all, and you get bullied, and you get when teams run more than you. I can't. That's what I can't accept. I don't mind getting beat when it's a close game or
Yeah,
they've scored a world day and they've just been a far better team. But some games where we've been beat, it's not because of the team's been better than us. It's because we have been ridiculously poor in
yeah,
every capacity. The game at Ibrox for me was that really annoyed me because I can accept getting beat, but I can't accept players running more than you, tackling more than you, winning setting balls more than you. That's what I can't accept. And I, when people I see people jogging back, that infuriates the life at me. If you've got 90 minutes, just run your hardest for the team and yourself and the fans and the club. For 90 minutes, just run and do your best. And if your best's not good enough, that's fine. But
yeah.
when players jog, JP, I get even at listen, the last 5-10 minutes, I can get it, right? You're tired. But see when it's early on in the game and they're jogging back, it
Mm-hmm.
infuriates the life at me, mate. And
Who
maybe
gives
that's
you the most work rate in the Celtic team, Ryan? Who impresses you most with a running ability on and off the ball?
well, obviously
Who
my
would
head
you?
is
I
he's
know,
a
man.
stickler,
My
isn't
head
he?
up, right? Like, let me rephrase that. You're not allowed to go him because he's just he's just out there in his cell. He's in his own league, is that? So, apart from my header, who would you say? Who can you say? I don't fault him for effort.
See, recently, I think it was a Dortmund game I noticed it, but really, recently, Atati's been brilliant. He's, I think it was the game against Dortmund, or no, was it Bayern? He was out on his feet, he was still chasing back and running
Aston
back.
Villa, he
So,
was like that, I know.
aye, Atati's work rate's really good, by the way,
Yeah,
just because he's no a shouter, a baller, or a big tackler, his work rate's actually really good when he's off the ball. And I actually think Engels is good off the ball as well. He
yeah,
was really good at the weekend off the ball. He was. I don't know if anybody noticed it, but people say about physicality. It was probably a foul, but he didn't half push that boy against the side of the park. He didn't half give
oh,
a bit of nastiness, and I like that. I like that
aye,
Gregory. Do you know what I
aye.
mean? Obviously, not to harm
I
people.
thought he was lucky to escape
Aye,
something for that.
obviously not
I
to
really
harm
did.
people, but I like players telling people I'm here. I like
Yeah,
that, and I don't think we do it enough. So but I think McGregor, I think if you look at McGregor's stats, the way he runs up and down, he's box to box as well. So, but I think the obvious one's obviously Diza. He's just a freak of nature. There's been fit, and then there's been fit. That's just whatever he does at training, whatever he eats, whatever he's. I don't know if it's his genes as well. I don't know what it is, but the guy's a freak of nature. And I think
he could
he's
probably.
improved
By
as
the way, he could probably do that wearing a pair of Levi's.
I
I know, so he could.
know. He's actually improved as well technically because I didn't think he was great technically when he first came. I thought he was pretty poor, if I'm being honest with you. Somebody crossing and his shots, I'm thinking, Jesus, man. But now he's very well does he shank balls at the bar, very well does he shank crosses out of it. He's very calm and composed, and so
Yeah,
I think for me, mate, my head is probably I think again it's not original, mate, but I think every Celtic fan, if you just looked at it and says just by visuals, who do you think works hard the most? You would say him, but the team probably work hard as a whole. If you looked at the stats on a Monday or
yeah,
Sunday night, they'd all be in the high eights and high nines and tens, whatever it is they do. But I
yeah.
think my age is probably the stickling mate for that.
Yeah, he's a shoe in right away, man. He's unbelievable. Like I said to you before, Ryan, I don't think I've ever seen him. They sprint to a guy and then repeat that sprint to another guy and keep going, and it's frightening. Another lad, Ryan, I want to give a bit of recognition to, who I think he's very good when he does it, is Yang. I think he covers a lot of the ground. There's been games when we've been at it, mate, and that's what you said. He must be dead annoying and all because he just like even the Bayern game when he came on, he was chasing, harassing. Um, that one he chased Kingsley Coman and he knocked it off Kingsley Coman out for a shy. What was it you called Yang again that night when he played when he played against Bayern?
Prime Raymer.
Prime name. And by the way, that's a good compliment to give anybody. But yeah, he was. But I think Yang's work rate's very good. I think he's improved on that sort of thing. I think he's one of the ones you alluded to there, Ryan, that we've seen previously jogging back. And I think now, anytime Yang plays, and I'm hoping to see him again before the end of the season, you know my feelings on him, Ryan. I think there's something there. You think he's still got a bit more to go before he can, he certainly was heading in that direction, as you said, Ryan. His numbers, he was starting to hit assists and starting to hit the goal trail and finding his certain areas where he was picking up some goals and some good moments. I thought he was brilliant against Rangers when he came on in the second half. We couldn't play through Rangers until he got on the park, and then we were able to start being able to play through the lines and get through there. So for me, I thought it was a badging. He got up at St Johnstone that day. Again, I thought he was really good that day. He set up a couple of chances that day. Forrest missed a glorious one. Adawida was unlucky with one he was off the end of. There was one with Jota where he plays it across the box, and Jota could have slid in and and maybe get yourself a goal there. So for me, I think is frightening. But when you've got that, Ryan, for me, that's also a tone setter in your team. See, when you've got, like you mentioned, Maeda, if Yang's doing that and he's on that kind of running power. You mentioned Engels there. Hatati's brilliant at it as well. Adam Eder on Saturday. I don't know if the best thing that happened to him was spewing, but seems to have got it out of his system, whatever it was there. And he looked, for me, Big Eder, I thought he was brilliant the way he was holding on to the ball, rolling in people, rolling out, holding people off. That big lad at the back for them was a big bit of a boy as well, and he was kind of holding him off. I thought, as Brendan says, you look at the first 10, 15 minutes of Saturday night, you've got to stand up and be counted there. Guys like Liam Scales winning headers against the big lad up front, Dalby, standing the ground, winning the balls, getting throw-ins, frustrating them. They're the home team. They're trying to play high balls and get right in on top of us. Because it's been a weaker point in my team, I think, as Brendan, lip reading Brendan, calling Trusty weak as piss and certain things he was doing, and set pieces this season, I think, it's been our Achilles heel. Saturday there, it looks like we could have dealt with any of the two lads in the middle, Scales and Carter Vickers, dealt with pretty much everything that came over. It was good to see Johnson as well back on it, really focused. Taylor, for a little guy, mate, he gets himself up there. He can certainly jump in the air. Real physical boys like Cervez. Getting out muscled for things. Our boys like Atati, you mentioned, being right on it. Engels, boom, right on it. That swivel pass to Maeda, and then that other pass he plays just with a swing. I call it a swing pass. He does, right. He does it probably once every game where he plays the ball and it goes round. It's as if it goes round a full corner, right round the face of the box. That's frightening me. Eventually, that's going to find the centre forward. Now it's going to be a
lot of people
for goal of the season.
A lot of people think that it's just a swivel pass he done. But what people don't realise is where he had the ball, the only pass he had was to Kuhn, and that wasn't really going to set up an attack properly. Well, Kuhn would have had to dribbled and done things to it, but what he's done is he's swiveled, he's took that midfield up out the game, he's gave his space, he's pinged it to Jota, Jota's then going to set up a goal. He's changed the flow of the game within one movement. He's done one movement, and the ball's set on an attack. Because Jota was facing that way, Jota's then be able to go and set up a goal. But because they were Nicholas Kuhn was, if he passed that to Kuhn would either need to go inside or go down and actually take on the gang. But the fact that Jota was already there, but I thought it was different class. Some people have seen it to me, I've seen it on Twitter, it's just a pass. I'm like, but you've not realised what he's done. He's took that defender out the game, and he's made a massive space for him to just go dink to Jota, and he's set up a goal. It's small, but I didn't see that during the game. I only seen it after the game, and it's wee small things like that us as fans don't realise that's why guys are worth decent money. That's why you pay. It's small glimpses of quality that can change games.
Well, you look at him in Atalanta as well. We talk about Engels, mate, and Ademola Lookman, mate. I forgot he was playing that night.
Well, he was different gravy that night.
I forgot the job he done on Ademola Lookman. I forgot Lookman was playing that night, and he was the main reason why Atalanta were in the Champions League. If you remember back to the Europa League final last year, Ademola Lookman ran riot against Bayer Leverkusen. It was the first game they'd lost the whole season, Bayer Leverkusen. So, yeah, that's what's impressed me most this season, Ryan. How this team have really went about their business in the Champions League, and I've been so proud of them, Ryan. They take a battering off the media and a lot of different pundits down in England and everything else. They weren't getting that this season, mate. They finished above Man City in the group phase. They actually finished above PSG in the group phase. And look what happens with PSG. They've just grew as the seasons went on in the Champions League, and they look a real handful, that team. You talk about goals earlier on, Ryan. There seems to be goal flourishes tonight in that Barca game. It's 3-each just now with Barca and Inter. Obviously, it's in the new camp, so I think Inter Milan have just had a goal chopped off there for being offside. Again, I'm here we go, mate. So I'm not getting to see that game. So, but no, we obviously come to the end of our wee chat tonight, mate. Like you says earlier, Ryan, we will be on Friday, mate, for the pre-match build-up for the derby. It is the last derby of the season. It is still a big game for Celtic to go and start their stuff. I'd imagine Brendan will be setting the team targets as we speak in order going into Sunday. I keep saying Saturday, it's Sunday we play them. I'm not used to Celtic playing this Saturday, right? But as I say, the games are whittling down now, mate, especially league games. And but some of us have got an extended season due to the cup final, wee man. And it's that says with Celtic, mate, it's always something to look forward to.
Aye, like you says, mate. Obviously, pre-season for us, it's no ideal, is it? Maybe the first week with football, it's a good right. Okay, switch off a wee bit, but then if there's no World Cup or no Euros, you get a bit bored, don't you? And you're like, well, what can I do? And we're obviously lucky that we're doing this, and so we're always thinking about this and doing this, and we can go on the platform and do this. But without actually watching football, you're like,
thanks
do you
very
know what I
much,
mean?
James, for your
Cheers,
kind words
James.
there, pal.
Appreciate it, mate. Thank you. Aye, well, listen, it's always good to have things to look forward to, and hopefully this cup finals are day like today, and it can be nice and sunny, and
Yes.
hopefully we can win the treble and celebrate together as we'll all be together for the final. So we look forward to that. But aye, I think Sunday for me is. I think
Before
Sunday.
MD asked, no, we're not doing a live vlog.
No. We'll be.
I don't think he's a want. I don't think he's a
No.
want to see that.
That's the next time I'm drunk. You don't want to see me drunk, so.
I can assure you though, there will be a dial-in on the Monday night after it.
And you'll see all of them buzz.
Aye.
But no, I think it's for me. Obviously, we'll delve into it with Friday because I know.
No, maybe man, I don't get hangovers.
Aye, true. Aye,
I'll be fresh.
I get days of hangovers, not just a day. But I obviously Friday we'll chat about the game of Sunday. Looking forward to Friday. Obviously Barry's coming on and Barry Bannon and William Glavin. Anybody who doesn't know William's obviously a former agent and a former scout as well. He was at Motherwell recently, so he's always brought to the channel. So
Ryan Christie represented. Yes.
So to have the two guys on Friday talking about the game, it'll be brilliant to get their knowledge and insights. So looking forward to that. But for me,
Ryan will just be sitting here and smiling and nodding, probably like Churchill dog. He'll be down next to the top.
But for me, Sunday's still a big game for me. I don't want to lose a game, especially considering they've obviously beat us twice this year. A third is. Don't want to think about it. I'm thinking about going to Ibrox. There's fans there. Your champions go and make a statement. McGregor's talking about putting things right. The manager's even saying that's not the Celtic. So I think Sunday will be a really good Celtic. Hopefully, mate, and we'll obviously delve into that and Friday and look forward to talking on Friday.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you to everybody that's tuned in with us across the platforms. I hope you're all, as I said, having a great week, and hope you all enjoyed today, enjoy the weather and whatever you are doing. Enjoy doing that. Like Ryan says, we will be back on Friday, and we look forward to seeing you all then. But for the time being, take care, folks.
Hail.
Hail, and stay out of the toilets.
Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated, but that's the key. The staying hydrated part is the key. Because if you don't, you can end up like this guy here.
Could be greeting.
Could be crying.
Could be Michael Beelan.
Could be. For some, by the way, that do tune into this podcast, it is time for your medication.
Delude
them all. So get in there. And I still can't believe Big Alan's quiz answer, seeing all the goals that this man scored was tremendous. Just I'll never ever give away. I'll never ever give away. It's a bit like dies in my head. It'll just never give away at all.
Goes away, does he?
But take care, folks. We'll see you on Friday and enjoy the rest of the week.
Hail.
Bye. Hail.